Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the No Close Show. As always, Scott Carson here. Excited to be here this morning. Just kind of cracking up at some of the stupidity that I'm seeing out there in the world this morning. In today's episode, if you're out there listening, whether you're listening to us on iTunes, Stitcher, any of the podcasting platforms, any of the radio stations that we're on across the country, or watching this live on Facebook or Instagram TV, or watching any of the videos out there, we've got obviously plenty of places for you to learn, okay? Plenty of places for you to be able to learning in different parts of the country and across the world, because if we have people in over 80 countries that are listening to the show. What I wanted to talk about in this episode is really kind of some of the stupidity things, or how to be more coachable in the note business and real estate business, really, for that matter of fact. I've had some really crazy things happen the last 48 hours, and I'm kind of just chuckling to myself that people aren't willing to help themselves. And so what do I mean by this? Well, look, first and foremost, we've got to get started. If you're a brand new investor, we all got to start somewhere. Putting your pants on one leg at a time, your underwear on one leg at a time through the holes. And what you have to realize is you're going to make mistakes, but honestly, just own up to it or be direct about things. Don't try to overcompensate. Don't tell people I caught a fish this big when it's really this big, okay? Don't be one of these people out there that's taking lists and blasting them across the internet. That's the first thing. That's the first no when it comes to being a real estate investor. Don't take a list of assets and then just blast it across the country. No. You don't want to do that. That's a bad thing. Don't take individual assets and say that you have it under contract when others do. Or when you don't have it under contract. That's the big faux pas. We've seen that happen recently. Just yesterday, somebody who's a new investor posting an asset that they've got supposedly for sale, looking for a funding partner, looking to wholesale the deal. And sure enough, guess what? Somebody else had it under contract. And guess what? That person that had it under contract saw what the other person was doing. Saw that they posted it to Facebook and to LinkedIn and another group. And they got booted from a couple groups. Yes, they got booted and blacklisted because they're posting a deal that they didn't have under contract. Now, look, I get everybody trying to hustle. I get it, like, oh my God, I'm too scared to put something under contract, but I'm going to try to blast it out like I would a traditional wholesaler. This is the note business, everybody. This is the big league. You got to put your big girl panties on, your big boy panties on, and get to rocking. So you have to be careful that you're not out there doing stupid crap, because people do a lot of stupid crap out there. And if you don't know if you're doing stupid crap, ask first, hey, is this okay to do this? Or should I do this? Now, look, I get the biggest thing, you should never post an address of property if you don't have it under contract. That's the first rule of wholesale. That's the first thing when it comes to, if you don't have it, if you don't control the asset, don't post the address. I understand wanting to post a picture of a property, trying to build a buyer's list, trying to find somebody who's interested. They can go and be. I get we all start somewhere there. But you know what, everybody? Wholesaling really is the least effective use of making money in real estate. Now, yes, it's the easiest, but it's also the person who usually walks with the least. You're going to walk with just a flat fee. And you know what? If a good wholesaler would put the property in contract, and that's the thing about note investing. You've got plenty of time often to do a lot of due diligence on assets, put it under contract. And why not, instead of wholesaling, why not be man enough or woman enough to go and put it under contract? Ask if it's available, put it under contract, and then go from there. Or start marketing out in other ways. There's a lot of things that you can do to market out assets, because a lot of people screw crap up and that stuff falls out, whether it's through due diligence or it's a toxic asset or it just doesn't turn out to be what it is. But you have to not be stupid to post something that you don't control. That's the easiest way to get blacklisted, not only by other investors or kicked out of groups, because I'll do the same thing. If I find somebody's being a joker broker, I will remove them from my group. I'll remove them. I won't deal with them. I'm like, and, if it's not your asset, and I've had occurrences where I had my own assets being sold back to me. I was selling off a list of assets. Suddenly, a joker broker called me, hey, I got a list of assets. I'm like, okay. And they sent it to me. I'm like, it's my addresses, my assets that I actually own. You don't own these. All right. Oh, yeah, I've got them on contract. No, you don't. No, you don't, idiot. Get a clue, all right? Get a clue, because people do some stupid stuff. Another thing that we've seen a lot of is people calling. I just had a guy call me, and it's frustrating because a guy called me a couple weeks back, said, hey, I know that you're interested in non-performing notes. I've got some that are available. And I'm like, okay, great. All right. What do you got? Oh, I'll send you a list. Well, of course, I don't get a list. And I've also been out of town the last couple of weeks. And the guy called me and said, hey, I saw that you were out of town. I guess he follows me online, so hopefully he's listening to this. And I'm like, yep, was out of town. He goes, I want to talk to you about the notes and stuff. I'm like, okay, what do you want to talk about? Well, he goes, I have a $5 billion tranche or trench. He even mispronounced it. That he used. Do you know anybody that would be willing to fund that deal? And I'm like, this is after he says, oh yeah, we've come across some good stuff with our network across the country. And he's just botching it. And I get being new, and I start laughing about it. And he goes, well, we got some other smaller stuff. What are you looking for? And I started laughing. I was like, okay, man, hang on. Let's cut the bullshit. I've been doing this for 10 years, and kudos to you for getting started. I'm never going to bash somebody for taking the first step. But I said, what are you trying to do? Because everybody has a network. And if I've been doing this for 10 years, it ain't because I've been waiting around for you to give me a phone call. Okay? If I've been doing this for 10 years, it's because I've done a lot of deals. Not I'm waiting around for one person, that one magical person to call me. All right, I go out and make my own. There's ways these days to build a network. And I'm like, what are you trying to do? Because, well, I just want to be helpful. I'm like, okay, bullshit. Pardon my French. That's BS. I go, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to make money? Are you trying to wholesale? What are you trying to do? Oh, no, man, I'm trying to help somebody. And I'm like, no, dude, help doesn't help. I don't want to deal with somebody who just wants to help. I want somebody who wants to make some money. Because if you want to help, I got plenty of people I can get help from. But I want you to be honest and tell me, what are you trying to do? You're trying to wholesale some assets? What's your background? And the guy got combative and was like, you know what? Never mind. If you're not going to be coachable or allow somebody who's got 10 years of experience and trained a ton of people in the industry how to do this, then you're an idiot. All right? Then you're an idiot. And there's a lot of people out there that aren't coachable. They think they know everything, or come over from the fix and flip side or the wholesale side, or they're brand new to this investing. They're just trying to wing it. Look, you have to be coachable. You can't come out and start saying in the first conversation, have somebody, I got a $5 billion tranche. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't control that. You just completely lost all credibility. That's like saying, oh, I own a $1 billion fund, and you're the guy making phone calls to asset managers on a one-off basis. Now, there's nothing wrong with making phone calls, but you have to be realistic. You know, hey, I got $250,000 to invest, or I got $500,000 to invest. I'm getting started, because everybody starts at some point. We are all beginners at one point. All right? But there's a lot of stupidity out there. A lot of things happen with people out there, and it just is, just absolutely frustrating when I see something. Now, there's some things that would have been smart to do. Hey, if he's got a list of other assets, of smaller stuff, then pick out an asset or two. Pick out one or two that you think makes sense. Like I'll give you an example. When I first started, I got this huge list of assets in from Capital One. 33 pages. I talk about it quite often. 33 pages, 6-point font. It was huge. It was almost overwhelmingly huge. I mean, it was overwhelmingly huge, okay? I couldn't, and I'm like, I can't buy the whole thing. And the asset manager on the other line said, well, you don't have to buy everything. Buy something. I'm like, oh, okay. So I went down. I went through the list. And so I was trying to guide this guy, hey, if you got a list of stuff, start looking through things. Don't sit here and start bragging about your network across the country, because as I told the guy on the phone, I don't know if you're trying to pitch me on deals or you want me to give you my assets to sell. I can't tell it, because, well, I can do both. I'm like, that's a big, big red flag. You always have to come to the table with an agenda. If you're making a phone call, what's my agenda? If I have a meeting, what's my agenda? What's my outcome? What's my desired output from this meeting, this phone call, this email? What is it? And I would pick out one asset, and that's what I did. It was big tape in. I picked out one asset. I flipped through San Diego, found a hot market. San Diego, Miami, Houston, whatever it is, find a hot asset in a hot area and work through that asset. Talk about that asset. If you want to make money, nobody wants somebody to be helpful. Just tell me what you want to do. I want somebody who's motivated to help. So then break down the asset. Find out what the value it is. Is it a good property? Get some photos. All right. See what the situation, what's the price point? What's the value? Add some value to the conversation versus just going saying, I got some other stuff. And I'm like, that's frustrating. Who Who isn't running into a joker broker? If you're watching this live as we go through, feel free to throw some of your comments up there about some of the stupid things you've seen from joker brokers and things like that as well. I'd love to see them and have them in the conversation. But people do stupid stuff all the time, or they'll market it out as they own it. You know, hey, I got this. We had this other guy. Oh my gosh. He posted in our WC and Crew Facebook page, which is our members only private group. Hey, I've got an asset. This was last year, actually. Last year, I believe. Yes, last year before the Super Bowl. Hey, I've got an asset list of 28 I have in a contract. Who wants to help me take it down? Then listen to the addresses. And then all these people started posting their emails. I'm like, oh, it's just a. Now, if I was a brand new investor, like, ooh, look, there's 40, 50 email addresses that people have posted up there. I just added 50 people to my buyers list. Yay. And I don't post. You got to quit doing that unless you see something that makes sense for something like that. It's just, otherwise, it's just a lead gen where they're going to pull lists. Well, lo and behold, I get a phone call. I'm not joking. Sunday night after the AFC Championship game, where the Patriots had just clinched. This is not the most recent Super Bowl, just 2 Super Bowls ago. And it's an asset manager, the fund I don't talk to very much. I actually don't buy much from him. And he's like, hey. I'm like, hey, what's going on? For purposes, we'll just call himself Mr. D. I'm like, hey, Mr. D, how's it going? He goes, it's going good, man. I'm in a good mood. The Patriots won. I'm like, oh, I guess you are a Patriots fan. He's like, yeah. I said, okay, Mr. D, what's going on? He goes, well, I have somebody who told me that they listed their assets for sale on your website. And I'm on your website and I don't see them anywhere. And I'm like, yeah, because nobody can do that. I'm like, are you talking about the portfolio you emailed out like last week and a half ago? He goes, yeah, I'm talking about that. So, well, I didn't make any offers on it because I didn't think there's anything that made sense for me knowing your pricing structure. I said, but I think somebody posted, are you talking about Mr. M? We'll say Mr. M is the joker broker in this case. He says, yeah. He said he posted. I said, well, no, he didn't post the assets. What he did, he went in and said, hey, I've got these assets under contract. Does he have them under contract? Because he's looking for people to help him take the list down. Says he has it under contract. He goes, no, he doesn't have it under contract. I said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove the post. Gladly to do it. And yes, maybe post anyone under contract. We'll make sure and take it down. And he's like, thank you. He goes, he's lucky that the Patriots just won, that I'm in a good mood to let him slide. Otherwise, I would blacklist him. And I'm like, I understand that totally. We'll see you later, Mr. D. He goes, we'll see you later, Scott. But anyway, you see that stuff, and then, of course, I go in and remove it. If you don't have something under contract, if you're not going to take the next step, don't be posting stuff for sale. If you don't have something under contract, don't post it. That's the easiest can be. Now, it's okay. Here's some of the things that you can do. If you got an asset, you're looking through assets, it's okay. Hey, here, I'm working through some of these assets. I'm making some offers. That's okay. Because if you're making offers, that's normal. Now, if the buyer, somebody comes back and says, hey, I have it under contract or I own that one, you may not have it. Let's use it as a learning mechanism. Oh, okay, well, I will remove it then. If you have it under contract, great, no problem. Because a lot of times sellers will bid people against each other. And it's not a no-go. But that's the thing. Don't be sitting there posting addresses, posting photos and say, I have it under contract. Who wants to fund the deal? Yeah, that's a no-go. You have to be smarter than that, okay? Otherwise, you're going to get in a lot of trouble really quickly. Now, Laura Blanc here says something. She says, I just had a joker broker tell me the buyer pays his percentages. Then when I agreed to pay him, he spent 2 weeks pestering the seller for a percentage from him too. Oh, yeah, trying to double dip. The normal double dip. Now, what is familiar that you'll see a lot of times is when sellers are moving assets or you have joker brokers, they're going to send a list out in a daisy chain. And you don't want to be a daisy chain. So let's say I have a list of assets for sale and I send them to Laura to take a look at. Well, then Laura doesn't like them, so she sends them to Chris. Chris doesn't like them, so he sends them to Gail. Well, Gail just blasts it out to her whole database. And let's say that Pierre likes an asset and sends an email to Gail, hey, I want to buy this asset. So Gail then reaches back to Chris. Chris then sends it back to Patty. Patty sends it to Laura. I've lost myself already in this daisy chain. And it gets back to me, and I give him a price. Well, then everybody starts adding on points. Oh, Scott wants 45 cents of unpaid balance. It's 45 plus 3. Now it's 48 plus 3. Now it's 51 plus 3. So when it gets back to Pierre, it might be 57 plus 3, which is, that plus 3 is everybody wants to make 3 points along the way. Well, by the time it gets to Pierre and he sends it back to me, or they get sent to the data chain, maybe I've moved that asset off to somebody else. Maybe I've sold it. All right. And that's the thing that happens out there, everybody, is people do this kind of stuff all the time, and it's frustrating. Now, it used to be a lot more rampant years ago when everyone wanted to get on a conference call. Oh my gosh, that was the waste. Let's do a conference call. I'm the buyer's rep. I'm the seller's mandate. What? Or you'd have joker brokers in between the two sellers, or the seller and the true buyer, and I would just like, oh, it would just be aggravating. Oh yeah, let's get on a conference call. So I get on a conference call. Supposedly, who's supposed to be the seller of an asset? It's the seller's rep. I'm like, okay, who is? Well, my partner and I. Wait a second. What do you mean your partner and I? And it's literally, you're like 3 removed, 3 degrees of Kevin Bacon. I'm like, I'm not wasting my time with phone calls like that. But you would have that happen too. People trying to make points on both sides. Look, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. Just make sure that you're doing the right thing and getting point. Hey, make it clear. Hey, I gotta make some points on this, and dare to declare it. Don't go back and try to pester the seller if you're in the middle trying to make money on it. And it's just funny seeing people do that on a regular basis, and they don't stay in the business very long because they build a bad reputation and nobody takes them for serious, because eventually over time, anytime you get tapes or assets from them, you start thinking that they're not direct. They're 3 removed. Good morning, Chris Nagel. Sorry. Good morning, Christina Fuller. Good morning, Marcus. Good morning, Robert. Good morning, Notes Connect. You see people join us online here. I'm not opposed to somebody making a fee if they're direct, but I'm not going to deal with a joker broker. I'm not going to deal with 3 removed, not 4 removed. Look, what's normal? Hey, give me your fee agreement. I'll sign it and step away. I've dealt with some brokers. I'm fine to deal with some brokers, especially we have some Wall Street guys that I deal with. They're making 3 points on the whole trade. That's fine. You know what they're doing? We're signing a fee agreement for 2 years. If I buy anything from this source for 2 years, they're going to pay me 3 points. I'm going to pay that. Sorry, they're not going to. That would be really nice. Let me buy something from you. You pay me 3 points. No, I'm paying them 3 points on anything that I end up buying from that source, and I'm fine with that. And they're disclosed. They're along the way. Hey, what do you need to help get this closed? Do you need more information? Is the seller being forthright with the collateral files and all that good stuff? What do you need? Do you need help with servicing? I deal with a broker right now on assets, and they're like, oh, yep, here's that. How do you need to close? Going back and forth. I have no problem dealing with brokers. Look, I'll broker some deals occasionally from time to time too. But make sure you're direct. When you start getting 2, 3, 4 removed, that's not a good thing, and you need to be coachable. And listen, when I'm telling you this is, if you do this, if you get involved in daisy chains, you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. If you don't have the huevos to put an offer in on the assets yourselves, then step out of the deal. It's 2019, everybody. No offense, but really, joker brokers, wholesalers, we don't need much of you out there anymore, unless you really do have direct sources. Now, what you'll often have, you'll have some funds that take stuff under consignment that make money that way. That's totally fine. If you're going to take it and help the seller move the whole tape, that's great. We have done this in the past where we've helped funds market their assets for sale. They made their bids in directly to us. We then submitted the bids back into the seller. The seller didn't want to deal with 100 people. We were dealing with, my staff negotiating, hey, who with the highest and best bids, Then we submitted it. Boom, we got paid a commission to help close those trades. And we did a good job with it because we've got great marketing. And that's what I'm trying to get at. If you can learn how to market these days, and you can reach out to people and ask, what are you looking for? Great. That's adding value. But don't just throw spaghetti against the wall and try and see what sticks. It's one of the worst things that you can do when it comes to being in the real estate note space. Nobody likes that. Be a buyer. Be a true seller. First and foremost, if you're trying to be a wholesaler and you've got a wholesale buyers list, why don't you just reach out to those people and see if they would fund your deals? Why don't you see if they would be willing, instead of just buying an asset from you, A, bringing you on, paying you a percentage for you to learn along the way. You can learn while you earn. All right? There's nothing wrong with it. Now, another couple of things about being coachable. When it comes to marketing, get to know your database. If you're building a database, I'll give you an example. When I would go to a networking event or a real estate investment club or something like that, one of the things that I would do was I collect business cards. I think we all do this, right? Collect business cards, and I would always look at, hey, what state are you in, or where are you looking for assets? Because I'm glad if I come across an asset on a tape that's in their state, I would then reach out to them with an individual asset, one deal, not a $5 billion tranche or 100 assets. I'd find out one asset in one state. and work with them that way. Hey, I got a deal in this neck of the woods you might be interested in. I would disclose, hey, I am trying to wholesale this or trying to broker that, especially to my buyers, because it's better to know that in the front end. Just say, hey, I'm trying to wholesale this. I'd like to make something. And we're glad to pay fees if it makes sense. If the deal makes sense and you're direct, great. But if I'm be like, okay, where did you get it from? Well, I got it from my buddy who's a wholesaler. He got it from his buddy who's a wholesaler. I'll be like, well, then I'm not interested, because I'm not going to waste my time being 3 or 4 removed from the source, because it's never going to end up happening. I've never had one of these conference calls with everybody on it have anything happen about, oh yeah, let's talk about doing business together. I'm like, you're just taking a bigger bite out of my profits by having 4 people in the between. And it just gets confusing. Nobody wants to give up their connections. Nobody wants to give up their relationship, supposedly. Well, it's not really a relationship if it's just your best friend and you have never talked to the buyer, right? I'll give you a $500 wholesale fee or $500 fee to move out of the way. Oh, no, I can make more. Well, great. Go make some more. All right. In today's world, if you're going to be a wholesaler, you need to know your audience. You need to know what they're looking for, and you need to narrow your list down. Water it down, squeeze it down tight to specific states, specific assets that people are looking for. Don't waste people's time just calling them out of the blue and say, hey, I got all this other stuff. Well, it doesn't help. And then without even asking, what are you looking for? If you ask what you're looking for, then make notes of it. And then when you see that, reach back out to it. One of the things that we do with our list at different events is always ask what's their top 3 states. What are the top 3 states that they're looking for assets? And that way, if need be, as I get lists in those 3 states, I can send them something. If I get lists in, then I can control. If it's direct from the source. And one thing that I've reached out to in the past, I've reached out to hedge funds that have bigger lists to say, hey, do you mind if I market this for you? Do you mind if I market this? I'm going to laugh at somebody's here. Quick buck is the quick dollar is always the best number. Now, I'll always wholesale if you can flip, or BRR if you can't. No room in this business for greed. Greed gets you into trouble. Actually, Chris, I don't agree with Chris Noggle on here speaking. I don't agree with that. Quick dollar is not always the best. No, wholesaling is not always the best aspect of it. Yeah, can you make a quick buck if it's a true deal? But you leave so much money on the table. And honestly, wholesaling, you're not really investing. You're just transacting. You always constantly have to go out and try to find another deal to wholesale. Try to find another deal. If you're buying a deal, buying a note deal, and investing it, you can get cash flow, you can get money up front, you get long-term cash flow, or you get stuff on the back that's a much bigger chunk than trying to wholesale. There's too many wholesalers out there. Everybody thinks they can wholesale these days. All right. And in the note business, you're not really doing the B quadruple R aspect of things. You want to be a note investor, you got to become the bank. Take that property. Yeah, you take the property back and sell them off. That's fine. Do that here. But being a wholesaler, no offense, you lose the amount. You lose a lot of profit. You end up spending all this marketing for the least amount of money. Yeah, you make a quick $1,000 or $5,000, but why wouldn't you want to make $20,000 or $50,000 by taking the property back? Now, if you're making $35,000 to $100,000 on a wholesale deal, hey, that's a different story. But oftentimes there's too many people throwing stuff against the wall, and it's just a big mess out there for most people. It's sad. I see the Wolfman. Good morning, Wolfman. Jeffrey Wolf from San Diego. Join out there. What's up, bud? We all want to make money in this business. We all want to make money in the business. So that's why your relationships and your marketing is what really will separate you. If you really want to be an effective wholesaler, if you want to be an effective person who's moving assets, like I said, know your list, know your markets. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday afternoon, we posted this Francis, Oklahoma REO across the board. We did a short little 2-minute, 45-second Facebook Live with some of the numbers on it. We're trying to good. We moved it. We literally just did a 2-minute video. We uploaded the video to YouTube. We posted it to LinkedIn. We live streamed it here on Facebook, and then it got shared across 6 different groups. I posted Active Rain. I went to Bigger Pockets Marketplace and posted it there. And then I sent an email blast out to a database of investors I have. We completely blitzkrieged that this morning. As of this morning, I've got 4 people looking to buy the deal, looking for more information, very interested in the deal. I've done some due diligence on it. I shared the rent rates. I shared what the market rent value was. Sure, they need some work. Sure, that it's in a decent part of the town, right across from the post office. I shared a lot of this stuff. It's a great thing. Somebody asked here, says, what is the best source to find active deals for marketing? Reach out. Dial for dollars like you would anything else. So many people are trying to take somebody else's deal and take the low-hanging fruit and try to market it out. If it's there easy to find, I guarantee everybody else is looking at it. You have to go find other deals that will make sense. But anyway, going back to this deal, we found this. We had this deal that we've taken back, trying to sell, but we posted it across multiple areas so that we get people to call us, get the phones ringing. But I control that asset. I'm willing to pay somebody a referral fee of $500 if they bring a buyer to me. But what you have to realize is I market it. A lot of people will just post one thing and that's it. If I don't want to go after the low-hanging fruit. Everybody's seen the list from, the Condors, the Grants, and those things like that. Nobody wants to waste time with those. Go find something valuable. You know what you need to do? If you're looking for deals to go market, do some marketing yourself. Dial for dollars. Send an email blast to asset managers. Those are two of the easiest things that you can do, but most people don't want to work. Most people want to take the low-hanging fruit, the first stuff that comes in that everybody has seen, and they want to blast it out, which is a big waste of time. Jeffrey Wolf exactly says something. If it's a good wholesale deal, then it's good enough a deal to take it down yourself. Exactly. If you're going to be a wholesaler and you understand what's going on in the deal, hey, here's what really needs to be done. What's up? Travel Wins, Be Superman. It's funny on Instagram. They're live. Awesome, bud. Good to see you, buddy. Congrats on your most recent interviews as well. So, as Chris says here, I mean, if you can make 10 grand a signing it and you can sell it, then it will be the fastest way to make money. Flipping can take a lot of time to make money. If you can flip and make 3 times that what you're kind of signing to flip it. We always take the assignment if we can sign, but we can't. We close and flip or BRR. Maybe I worded it wrong. Yeah, so Chris, you're traditional real estate, buddy. We're talking about the note business here. Our biggest goal when we're buying, since we're buying it a lot cheaper than most of the traditional fix and flippers, and especially if you're buying occupied assets, is the fact to try to get it reperforming and go from there. So you're talking traditional real estate, but when we're talking, it's a little bit different language. But that's right. You're correct on your side with that. So yeah, if you make a quick 10 grand assignment fee, great. That makes sense, but you're still just churning and burning. Now, I'm under the impression that you have that stuff under contract first. Chris, you're correct. If you have it under contract and you can wholesale that contract, yes, you have it under contract. That's a great thing. We've had some people here trying to flip stuff that don't have a contract. And then the seller doesn't even know that they're trying to flip it on their behalf, okay? No problem. But that's what I'm trying to get at, everybody. There's some tools. If you're not going to invest in your business, what are some of the things you need investing in to help you make it more marketable? Well, obviously, you need an email service provider, some sort like MailChimp or Infusionsoft or Aweber. Those are probably the 3 most well-known. I would not be using Constant Contact or iContact. They do not like real estate investors. They just don't. So they'll tell you that directly. So use somebody like MailChimp or Infusionsoft or Aweber where you can upload your list to, and then you can see what your open rates are. It looks more professional than something from a Gmail account or Yahoo account and hoping that you can see who opens it. The reason you always want to do something like that, you invest some money in that. Yes, it's going to cost you $50 a month. Yes, as your list get bigger, it's going to cost you more. Use the dang thing. I mean, we are in our Infusionsoft account daily marketing, or talking about webinars, or doing something to drive people to our website, or to our webinar, to our Facebook, whatever it might be. You have to do this stuff on a daily basis. That's the first thing. Second thing, be professional. Be professional. All right. If you don't have it under contract, don't post it. Let me say that again. If you don't have it under contract, don't post it. Okay. And then, you know what? It's a great thing. Take some time. Talk to your contacts. Talk to the people. What are they looking for? Maybe send a survey out. That's one of the things that we've done in the past quite a bit. Survey Monkey. Send a survey out. Ask 10 questions. What are you looking for? What are your top 3 states? Are you looking for residential? Are you looking for commercial? Are you looking for performing? Are you looking for non-performing? Looking for REOs? Those are some very important questions that you want to ask. Is there a deal amount that you're looking for? Are you funding with your own money or other people's money? That's another thing as well. If you're trying to wholesale assets because you don't have any money, then go find a deal. Go find a deal, break it down, and do the due diligence. Check the values online. Check what the area looks like, either through Google Maps, or if it's nearby, you go drive by the property, take some photos. If not, if you know a friend there, see if they can't drive by it for you. Pull the rent rates. If it's a commercial building, try to see if there's leases. See what comps are going on there. Talk to a realtor. Or if you can't, if you're a realtor in a different area, jump on NAR RPR and try to pull an AVM. Okay. See if it's multi-unit. See if it's occupied. See if you can't find information on it. If it's for lease, find a management company. Find optimal rents in an area. All right. Put those things together. Check the taxes. Check the tax roll. For the non-performing note, can you get a copy of the collateral file to take a look at? You can look at LoopNet to look for commercial properties, but you got to be careful because often LoopNet is like a dead end zone it's where commercial deals go to die. What I like using about LoopNet is I'll use it to help me find comps. I'll also use it to find if the property, especially the commercial property, was ever listed before. Because oftentimes commercial brokers are often really great. Now, if they're coachable, they've got a list of buyers in their pocket. Okay. That you can see, that they can move stuff because they have these buyers. They've worked their list. They're not going to post them in a LoopNet. But I use LoopNet to find either deals that have been dragging out for a little while. In the past, we see an asset on LoopNet, it's probably distressed or it's a short sale. We'll jump on and talk to our title company, see if we can't pull who the current lender is, and then reach the lender to see if buy that debt directly versus having to go through a broker. So there's some good things about that. But that's what we like to do with that aspect of things. But be smart, learn how to market. I mean, that's the thing that defines all of us. It really separates everybody. If you can do a little bit more than the rest of the crowd, you're going to stand out from the crowd in a good way. But you also can do it in a bad way if you do it badly. All right? You can do it really bad if you stand out from the crowd and do it something wrong, like posting an asset for sale that you don't have under contract. Don't post the address if you don't have it under contract. That's the biggest thing. Asset managers get really pissed off. That happened before. Because asset managers are going to look at your marketing. They're going to see. They're probably going to connect with you. Especially if you're on LinkedIn. They're going to connect with you to try to see about what you're doing. Are you actually moving deals? Do you actually own deals? Have you actually closed stuff? And that's the thing, too. Another thing, never, ever, ever do this. And I've had this happen a couple of times where people said they worked with me and they represented that they worked for We Close Notes or Inverse Asset Fund to a seller. Oh, that's not a good thing, because the first thing most asset managers do are going to Google you and find out, and then make a phone call, drop an email. Hey, do you know this guy? Always comes back. I've had 2 people do that in the past. Where like, oh yeah, they made offers on behalf of me, supposedly unbeknownst to me. And then I get a phone call from the asset manager. Hey, you put in these bids in Detroit. Or put these bids in on these assets. Are you going to close on these? I'm like, I have no idea what the heck you're talking about. Who put this in? Oh, so-and-so and so-and-so put these in. I'm like, oh, that's a very interesting come to Jesus kind of meeting that we have then very quickly. And that's one easy way to get blacklisted very, very quickly from everybody else out there as well too. So keep that in mind, everybody. Don't do that. Do the golden rule. There's nothing wrong with being green or being brand new in real estate. We all start somewhere, like I said beforehand. Just admit it. And if somebody's trying to give you advice, words of advice, take it, listen to them. Don't be argumentative with them. All right? If somebody calls you out on your stuff and they've got a lot more experience, just admit to it. Yep, you're right. I'm brand new. What do I need to do? And that's one of the most strongest things I can tell you that's helped me over the years is I was coachable to people who are a lot more experienced than I was. What can I do? What can I do? How can I be smart? And that's not saying I've done some stupid things. I've made my share of mistakes like anybody else has out there. But the thing you've got to realize is if you make a mistake, own up to it, admit it, don't argue about it. Take it and run with it to make it a learning experience. You'll always learn more from your mistakes than you'll learn from your successes. And that's one of the biggest things. So let's kind of talk back here a little bit. Things to do that would be smart, the do's and don'ts. Do ask if you can market an asset before you do a lot of times. Do ask your people, your database, what are they looking for? What's their price point? Top 3 states. Those are some great questions to ask. Another do thing. is invest in your deal. Invest in learning the due diligence of aspect. Pull the numbers. Check the online stuff. Pull as much information as you can to make that deal valuable to your list if you're going to blast it out to your list. Okay? Don't post the address if you don't have it under contract. Don't say you have it for sale if you don't have it under contract. Don't lie and say that you represent somebody when you don't represent somebody. Right? Don't try to squeeze as much out of the deal as possible if it's a skinny deal. Learn that's making something is better than making nothing. And in some cases, I've cut my commissions because I knew it was a skinny deal. I knew that the seller was being difficult and wanted a higher price. And so I reduced my commission to make sure that the deal went through. I've done that with a lot of our students where we charge $1,000 or $2,000 to make a deal happen. And I'll reduce my commission to make sure that it still closes. Seller wants this, buyer wants this. I'm somewhere in the middle. Something's going to get squeezed. And I'd rather make $2,000 versus nothing on a deal. All right. So that's what you got to realize, everybody out there, is just because you want to make $5,000 on a deal or you want to make $10,000 a deal doesn't mean it's always going to happen. And like our buddy Jeffrey Wolf said, if the deal makes sense to wholesale, take it down yourself. And that's one of the biggest do's that I would highly recommend that you do. If deal's going to be good enough and you're trying to wholesale it, why don't you market to your database and see about if they can't buy that asset or can't fund your deal. Market. Instead of market to sell the asset, market to fund it. You'll make the most amount of money that way, first and foremost, than anything else, everybody. All right? So it's always an interesting day in the note business, always an interesting day in the real estate business. People do a lot of stupid stuff. If you're the person doing stupid stuff, then admit to it. Be apologetic. Admit to it. Ask forgiveness. Say, how can I best fix this? Sometimes you got to eat a little crow pie from time to time. Sometimes you've got to, what's the word I look for here? Just be humble. Be humble, and you'll learn more from it so you don't make the same mistake in the past. Now, I've done some stupid stuff in the past where I've sent an email out. It was a little racier, and some people pissed off, or sent an email out kind of poking fun at somebody, and it came back on me. There's a lot of times I do something that I know it's going to happen, and I'm willing to bear the brunt of it if it's good or bad. Sometimes it's worth making a splash just to get people chuckling and go from there. I'm willing to risk a couple of things every once in a while, but I've got 10 years of credibility behind me, 10 plus years of credibility behind me. If you're brand new, hey, you don't want to probably do that. You want to probably kind of stick to the middle of the road there and go out and make something happen. But where are some great places to go to if you're going to build them lists? Go to your local real estate club. Go to your networking events. Take plenty of business cards. Capture plenty of business cards. Heck, if a lot of people that are going there brand new don't have business cards, make sure you take some blank ones. Take some stuff, or basically take your cell phone, have your cell phone ready to go if you're short on business cards. Scan one, and that way you can text it out to people. But don't throw up on people. If somebody's there to network, just talk with them. Hey, do you mind if I give you a phone call afterwards? I can go from there. And then one of the most important things that you can do, you should do, is when you get home at night, take all the business cards, the people that you've met, especially do this on the front end when you're brand new, and then drop in a short little email. Hey, it was great meeting you at this event. Great seeing you. You mind if I add you to my buyers list? So that if I come across something, I can send it to you. I won't bother your time with stuff that doesn't make sense. And you know what's going to happen? 90% of the time, they're like, yes, it was great, awesome. Sure, add me to your list. Because you know what? Most people don't do that. Most people don't drop an email out after they've met somebody. I even see this when I go to big events and sponsorship and stuff like that. Other sponsors, I'll see an email. We'll send an email out. Hey, what's up? Great to meet you. Here's what we're all about. Where others were like, they don't send an email at all. Part of it comes from that most people that are going to expos or vendors are employees. They're not actually the people running the event. They're not the people running the company. They don't understand the market. They're just there to pass out flyers, have some drinks, free Chick-fil-A or something like that. They don't really give a rat's butt about taking that list. Every contact you come in contact with is either a buyer, a seller, or a funding source. And everybody's a funding source, everybody, one form or fashion. Whether either they're going to fund the deal themselves, or whether A, they're going to fund the deal themselves, or B, they're going to refer somebody to you. All right? And that's one of the big things. When I went to Dallas last month for the DFW Arena meetup, I saw people I hadn't seen in years. It was just great seeing them. Hey, what's up, man? Good to see you. Hey, what's up, girl? Good to see you. you know, and I'm always a little afraid that we might market a lot. I don't want to piss people off with too much marketing. And I'm like, hey, if you want to, just unsubscribe. It's not going to hurt my feelings. And people come out, hey, love what you're doing, great. I'm like, oh, are you buying? You know, no investor, no, but I like listening to your stuff. I like watching your stuff. Okay, great. Then we're doing something right. What's funny is when you start getting phone calls and emails from asset manager, like, hey, the green email, our green logo, our green background, when it kicks into place, that's what you want people to do. And if you do that over time, you brand yourself as being somebody who's honest, direct to the point, and knows what's really going on in a deal. That's a good wholesaler, right? That's a good broker at that point, okay? But a broker is exactly that. They're often broke because they're making a quick buck, and don't have anything long term. They're not really investing in the asset or the deal. Now, some people make a really great amount of money. I mean, you have mortgage brokers, you have real estate brokers. They're going out, they're making their 3% or their 6% or their points on the deal and yield spread, whatever. But every month, it's a new goal. I got to sell this much. I got to sell this much. I got to sell this much. And over time, you get burnt out relatively quickly doing that. So don't burn out. Don't burn yourself out. Yes, it's idea to make quick money because you don't have any type of attachments to the deal after the loan is done or loan is sold or house is sold or the assets moved. That's great. You can move on. But if it's good enough to wholesale, if it's good enough for somebody, maybe it's good enough for you to take down. Maybe it's good enough for you to actually be an investor versus a broker and actually buy some deals. Leverage your network, leverage your audience, and say, hey, just change your message up a little bit. Change the message up and said, hey, instead of me bringing you this deal for you to buy and pay me a fee, I don't want to be your waiter anymore. I'm not here to take your order. I'm here. I want you to invest with me. I want you to fund this deal. Let's work it together because I'm tired of making peanuts when I could be making a lot more in the note business or in the real estate business or in the brokering business, whatever that might be out there. All right. Chris Nagel, thank you very much for your comments. Good stuff there. Awesome, Robert. Travel wins. Hey, if you guys, here you go. I'll tell you what, my buddy Robert with the Travel Wins podcast is doing an amazing job. Absolutely amazing. He's got some great guests. The fastest woman in America is on his show. He's at Cowboy Troy. Just some really great people. So if you want to listen to another podcast out there, check out the Travel Wins on iTunes. Stitcher. Great show. Just a great job with interviewing people. Just some interesting stuff out there. So get a chance to check it out. You won't go wrong with it as well. All right. Always, guys, we're available. Like I said before, our shows are available on all podcasting platforms. You can always check us out. Our video replays also usually on Facebook or on YouTube, youtube.com/WeCloseNotes, our main channel. And you can always check us out at WeCloseNotes.com. If you'd like to get more information on buying or selling notes or education on what a note is, especially a non-performing note, a naughty note, you can check out our website or also sign up for our online training at thenoteblueprint.com. That's thenoteblueprint.com. But as always, guys, thank you so much for listening in. Thank you for participating. Thanks for those that ask questions. If you like what you're listening to, give us a like, give us a share, give us a 5-star review on iTunes, and be glad to make sure you subscribe over there as well. Otherwise, go out and make something happen, everybody, and we'll see you all at the top, everybody. Bye.